Let me set my timer first. Starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here's the government whip. As the government whip, I want to stress the opposite thing. There have been many cases of corruption in Indonesia, especially the perpetrators from the government side. For example, the corruption of social assistance funds that has occurred recently with a large amount. So the logic is that the funds that should be used for the people to be helped financially are precisely to enrich themselves by the corrupt. I also stated that the punishment might be necessary, but we have to consider the bottom of our humanity. The question is, do they who commit corruption also consider other people? Here's the case. Most of the corruptors who have committed corruption, when they got captured by Corruption Eradication Commission, they still can defend themselves that they are innocent, are even proof and appeal themselves to prove that they are truly clean. See, they don't even think the fate of those who supposed to get the funds. How about those who were laid off because of COVID-19? What about those who find it difficult to eat while the pandemic was rampant? How can they afford the equipment for their child's schools with online system in pandemic era? Well, the government's efforts to subsidize their daily needs have been completely cut down by corruptors only for their personal benefit. And then, regarding what the opposition side questioned related to why the corruptors want to commit a corrupt, here's the simple logic. Because those who commit a corrupt are the kind of people who never satisfied with what they have had. In case of financial matters, they was mostly hold particular position in the institution. So they generally take the opportunity to corrupt certain amount of money which mostly used to enrich themselves. And if the opposite think that by impoverishing the corruptor are inhuman because the corruptors are having a family, like they have a wife, they have a child or something like that, they have daily needs and something like that, and so on and so forth. But here's the thing, if they have known the consequences of being captured if they committed a corruption, they wouldn't do it that in the first place. As for taking their wealthiers, just think of it like being a punishment to do their action of burdening many other people just for their own needs. That's the important. OO said the government should rehabilitate the corruptors instead of impoverishing them. But the thing is, there are many cases where corruptors were captured or escaped from the punishment. It's not like those who committed a crime of being corrupt are all obeying the rules or regulations of the government itself. At this point, perhaps the government, especially financial department, to strictly supervise their staffs or employees, just like what I said earlier, the most common corruptors are from their institution itself. So to prevent them from committing a corruption, it is such a big alert to the government itself. Regarding many corruption cases occurred in recent years, so the government needs to set regulations related to any kind of corruption, whether it's a trivial corruption up to the huge amount of corruption. That's a many case in Indonesia who has occurred like that. It's true that we can't exactly prevent them from being corrupt because we wholeheartedly know that those people who have the intentions of being corrupt will never change. Even when they failed in certain time, or let's say they failed to corrupt in certain program that they hold, they will do that in certain program that they next doing that. Even when they failed in certain time, in today's case, let's say, they will do that again. Just like what I say, we can't change their ill intentions of that. As the OG stated that we're not able to locate the corruptor, but we can sense from particular project. Just like what I said, they mostly from the institution, right? So they have any programs, any project that they tends to activating them. But they handled that. If there's a mist when they handle that kind of project, any programs or any projects like that, the government can take an action. Towards them. As the opposite team stated that this action might suspecting the corruptor. So what's the point? What's the matter of it? It doesn't necessarily impolite. I think it's just we're being aware of the possibility they are commit in a corruption. So here's the thing, we don't suspect them in a bad way, right? We suspect them because they have the possibility to corrupt the country's assets. That's not a bad point. That's that we prevent them from doing the so. And here's the thing. All say there's no justice. I'd like to say it's not a matter of being justice or injustice. It's the matter of how they could be deterrent if the government not doing a kind of impoverish them, how can they be deterrent and open their eyes regarding what they've done? It's not that impoverish them will make them like a miserable people or something like that. Even if they are looking like miserable, it is the consequences of them doing the corruption. And even if they're being punished, there is no guarantee they won't commit corruption again in the future. Just like what I said earlier, we can't change them. We wholeheartedly that we can't change any bad intentions in the corruptors. So here's the point: corruption is prohibited regardless any reason of doing it. Whether the corruptors itself say that the reason why did they do the corruption, no matter of the reason of it, it's still prohibited. No matter what any reasons, to make the corruptors realized. This is the point. Impoverish them to make the corruptors realize their wrongdoings. So this house will impoverish them. In this way, it'll be fortunate for the citizens if the corruptors being captured and impoverished, as well as ordering them or demanding them to pay back the amount of the money they have stolen. At least, even if this way not gonna persist in the corruptors, at least the corruptor will be aware, or the next person who perhaps right now have the intention to do the corruption be aware of that matters in the next future. So they will think like twice before doing the corruption because of the impoverism and demanding the money they have stolen to pay back to the countries. And what the thing is, the corruptors tend to corrupt to tell life such a happy ending scene, while it is strictly prohibited to corrupt in your own country. That's the less inhuman and ridiculous. That's all I can say. Thank you.